The prosecution delivered its final arguments today in the high-profile hush money trial against former President Donald Trump, capping off weeks of intense legal proceedings. As the trial reaches its critical conclusion, a surprising appearance by acclaimed actor Robert De Niro at the courthouse added a notable twist to the day's events. The prosecution laid out a detailed and compelling case against Trump, accusing him of falsifying business records to cover up hush money payments made to silence individuals claiming extramarital affairs with him. These payments, the prosecution argued, were strategically orchestrated to influence the outcome of the 2016 presidential election. Prosecutors meticulously reviewed the evidence presented during the trial, including financial documents, email correspondence, and testimony from key witnesses. South Africa's highly anticipated 2024 general election took place today, marking a pivotal moment in the nation's democratic journey. Citizens across the country cast their votes to elect representatives for the National Assembly and provincial legislatures, with the outcome set to shape the political landscape for the next 5 years. The Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, reported a robust voter turnout, reflecting the electorate's strong engagement with this election. Polling stations opened at 7 a.m. and closed at 9 p.m. with long queues observed in several major cities, including Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. The election day proceeded largely without incident, though there were minor reports of logistical issues and delays at some polling stations. The IEC worked diligently to address these concerns, ensuring that voters were able to cast their ballots without significant hindrance.
Every other election before this, it has been a foregone conclusion that the ANC was going to win. It was always about just how much. This election, all bets are off. And so we're heading into coalition country after this election. It won't be the same as it's been over the last 30 years. And I think that should excite Democrats all over the country, and certainly those who value democracy all over the world.
This queue was not long. The queue was short, the process was slow. Until we have had to make calls around the IEC head office. Intervention was made, but still, now I have a suspicion that they want to extend the election by a day so that we can vote again tomorrow. But that's where the wreaking happens, because these people cannot sleep with the ballot boxes. You have to secure the ballot boxes. That's why the counting must happen at the station. So once they extend it by a night, it means the ballot boxes must be moved to a police station or to a result center, wherever. Then there's going to be a problem.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly acknowledged a recent military strike in Rafah as a tragic incident, expressing deep regret over the civilian casualties that resulted from the operation. This statement comes amid rising tensions and international criticism following the incident. The strike occurred late last night in Rafah, a city in the southern Gaza Strip. According to initial reports, the Israeli Defense Forces targeted what they believed to be a militant hideout. However, it was later revealed that the location housed numerous civilians, including women and children. Local health officials in Gaza reported that the strike resulted in significant loss of life and many injuries. Rescue teams have been working to recover bodies from the rubble and provide medical assistance to the injured. In a press conference held earlier today, Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed the nation and extended his condolences to the families of the victims. He described the incident as a tragic mistake and promised a thorough investigation to understand how such an error could have occurred. This incident is a tragic mistake, and our hearts go out to the families of the victims, Netanyahu said. The IDF operates under strict guidelines to avoid civilian casualties, and we are conducting a thorough investigation to understand how this occurred. The Rafah strike has drawn sharp criticism from both domestic and international observers. Human rights organizations have condemned the attack, calling for greater accountability and stricter measures to protect civilians in conflict zones. The United Nations and several foreign governments have also expressed concern over the incident, urging Israel to take more significant steps to prevent civilian casualties in its military operations. Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a stern warning to Western nations today, cautioning against further interference in Russia's sphere of influence. This statement comes amid escalating tensions over Ukraine and increasing military presence in Eastern Europe by NATO forces. In a televised address, President Putin criticized the West for what he described as aggressive and provocative actions near Russia's borders. He specifically pointed to NATO's recent military exercises and the continued supply of weapons and support to Ukraine as destabilizing factors. Russia will not tolerate any form of interference in our internal affairs or our legitimate sphere of influence, Putin declared. The West must understand that any further provocation will have severe consequences. Our response will be swift and decisive. Putin's warning follows a series of recent developments that have heightened tensions between Russia and Western nations. In a significant escalation of the ongoing conflict, Ukraine has announced the successful destruction of several Russian vessels in the Crimean region. The Ukrainian military reported shooting down for Russian boats, to ferries, and a pilot boat, marking a notable development in the tense standoff between the two nations. The Ukrainian armed forces stated that the operation was carried out as part of a broader effort to disrupt Russian military logistics and supply lines in the contested region of Crimea. According to official reports, for Russian boats, including small patrol and reconnaissance boats that were reportedly operating near the Crimean coastline. The Ukrainian military claims these boats were involved in surveillance and potentially preparing for offensive operations. In a statement released earlier today, a spokesperson for the Ukrainian armed forces hailed the operation as a strategic success in the ongoing defense of Ukrainian sovereignty. In the latest development, Iran has reportedly supplied Russia with advanced aerial bombs for use in attacks on Ukraine. This marks the first time Iran has provided such weaponry to Russia, raising concerns about the escalating conflict and the international ramifications of this new alliance. Sources indicate that the aerial bombs delivered by Iran include sophisticated munitions capable of causing substantial destruction. These bombs are expected to enhance the Russian military's capacity to conduct airstrikes with greater precision and impact. The delivery reportedly includes both guided and unguided bombs designed for deployment by various types of aircraft. While the Iranian government has not officially confirmed the delivery, a high-ranking Iranian military official speaking on condition of anonymity stated, Iran is committed to supporting its allies and will provide necessary assistance to ensure their defense capabilities. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the supply of Iranian bombs to Russia, calling it a dangerous escalation. This move not only threatens our sovereignty, but also endangers regional and global stability, Zelensky said. He called for increased international support to bolster Ukraine's defenses. The United States and NATO have expressed deep concern over Iran's involvement in supplying arms to Russia. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stated this development is troubling and indicative of a broader alliance that threatens peace and security in Europe. We will be consulting with our allies on appropriate responses. In a significant shift in British politics, Nigel Farage has been announced as the new leader of Reform UK. A prominent and polarizing figure in UK politics is expected to bring his characteristic energy and rhetoric to the party, aiming to reshape its direction and influence. Nigel Farage, known for his pivotal role in the Brexit movement and former leadership of the UK Independence Party UKIP, has officially taken the helm of Reform UK. The announcement was made at a press conference in London, where Farage outlined his vision for the party. It is time for a new chapter in British politics, Farage declared. Reform UK will be the voice of the people, standing up against the establishment and fighting for a fairer, more democratic Britain. Farage's political career has been marked by his relentless advocacy for Brexit and his ability to galvanize support among voters disillusioned with the mainstream political parties. Thank you for watching the news now. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for instant notifications on updates from around the world, and hit the like button so that the YouTube algorithm can reach more viewers like you. See you in our upcoming news updates.